2, 3, 4.
Hi everyone, this is Jewish Talk coming to you from NASA Community College on 90.3 WHPC, also streaming on the iHeart and the iTunes app. This program is later archived on Spreaker.com. So hi there, my name is Rabbi Perl, and you know what it is today. Today is Hanukkah. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It all depends on when you are listening and joining us. And of course, this evening we will be lighting the fourth candle of Hanukkah. So I'd like to dedicate our program today with best wishes to each and every person, to every one of you, to your family, wishing you and yours a happy, healthy, and joyous Hanukkah. And today we hope we will share with you ideas and thoughts that will make our Hanukkah more meaningful and as deep as possible, because that's what we need during this time. You know, as the COVID pandemic continues to rage, our prayer and our thoughts is that our program today finds you and your loved ones well and in good spirits, enjoying the latkes, enjoying the programs, enjoying all the many activities available, even with social distancing and wearing masks. We had an amazing first night of Hanukkah here on Long Island, where all of us got together on Zoom this time, where all of us in the safety of our own homes lit our menorahs simultaneously, and we all watched each other's menorah lighting and shared greetings. It really was beautiful. At the same time, we must get out. Exercise is good, and I'm sure you will join us and consider coming to a wonderful menorah celebration, the grand menorah lighting on the 8th night with COVID-friendly Hanukkah treats, hot cholent, donuts, plus. It all starts at 6 p.m. at the Chabad House in Mineola on Willis Avenue with live music. We'll be celebrating the last night of Hanukkah as we light all the 8 candles on our outdoor menorah and sing and dance at our own places with social distancing, together with the Tzvi Lampert live music. It's for all ages. But in order to reserve your hot cholent Hanukkah treats, please call us at 516-739-3636 or email us at rabbipearl@chabadmineola.com. Okay, let's get right to it. You know, I'm going to take you back in history and then bring us back to the present. It was the first night of Hanukkah in the Janowska concentration camp. This is back in the days of the Nazis, Yamach Shemam V'Zichram. And at this particular camp was Rabbi Yisrael Spira, who desperately wanted to light the Hanukkah candles for the 500 people in his barracks. He managed to quickly collect strands of uniform fabric to be used as wicks, as well as shoe polish to be used as oil. That night, Rabbi Spira gathered everyone together from his barracks. He lit the menorah and made the first blessing on the kindling of the Hanukkah lights, followed by the second blessing, She'asa nisim lavosenu bayomim ahem bizman hazeh, that God made a great miracle for our ancestors in those days and at this time. Excuse me. Rabbi Spira paused for a moment and then proceeded to make the third and final blessing, which is She'hechiyonu v'kimonu v'giyonu lizman hazeh, that God has kept us alive, has sustained us, and brought us to this time. The entire group sang Ma'os Tzur together, with tears streaming down their cheeks. After the singing, a young man came forward and he said, "Rabbi, something's bothering me. I understand that you make the blessings over the candles, the Hanukkah lights, and on the miracles that God performed for our ancestors. But how can you recite the blessing of Shechiyonu with such passion and with such passion as you utter the words God has kept us alive and sustained us. Look at us. Look at where we are. This is how He has sustained us. Rabbi Spira turned to him and replied, I asked myself the very same question, which is why I paused before reciting that blessing. But as I looked up, and I saw the eyes of every person in the barracks filled with hope and faith as they stared at the flickering candle, and I thought to myself, if during such times of darkness these people can be filled with hope, then I can confidently say the Shehecheyanu, that we are grateful to be living, because it is precisely our faith and hope that has kept us alive throughout our nation's journey. We are right now in the middle. We're going into closely to the fourth day. So when we think about the Hanukkah story, we remember the two miraculous events that took place. First, the military victory of the Maccabees over the Syrian Greeks, and then the miracle of oil that should have lasted one day, but instead burnt for 8. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, of blessed memory, the former chief rabbi of United Kingdom, once pointed out that what many of us don't realize is that the Hanukkah story continued centuries later. After the destruction of the Second Temple, when all the work of the Maccabees now lay in ruins, some rabbis at the time believed that Hanukkah should be abolished. Why celebrate a freedom that has been lost? Others disagreed, and their view prevailed. Freedom may have been lost, but not hope. From there, hope became the essence and the theme of the holiday, with the menorah as its symbol. Hanukkah became a holiday of light within the Jewish home, symbolizing a faith and hope that could not be extinguished. Hanukkah reminds us that hope gives our people the strength we need to survive tragedy and rebuild shattered lives. The Jewish people survived all of the expulsions, the persecutions, the pogroms, and even the Holocaust itself. Because they never gave up their hope, their faith that one day they would be able to be free to live as Jews without fear. During these times, when there is still immense darkness in the world, it is our opportunity to strengthen and renew our faith in a brighter and hopeful future. This Hanukkah, as we ignite the flames of our menorah, let us discover our indistinguishable hope and spread that light to the entire world. Now, I'd like to pause for a moment and think about the Dreidel, right? One of the games that we play, part of the holiday is the playing of the Dreidel. And I want to share with you some of the fascinating insights to what the Dreidel represents. First of all, recognizing the miracles in nature. While the Dreidel spins, the letters disappear in a blur and are visible only when coming to a stop. Immersed in the hustle-bustle of our daily routine, we can't see the miracles regularly happening around us. Only when we stop to reflect are our eyes open to the miracles that were there all the time. Have that in mind when your dreidel drops. Another aspect is the letters have deep meaning. The Dreidels' Hebrew letters are Nes, Nun Gimel, Hey, Shin. Don't only stand for Nes Gadol Hayasham, a great miracle happened there. The actual 4 letters also correspond with the 4 ancient kingdoms that tried to destroy us. Nun stands for Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian leader who discovered the first temple in Jerusalem. The Gimel, Gog, or Greece, which tried to eradicate the Jewish religion in the time of Hanukkah. Hey stands for Haman, the wicked minister in the ancient Persia who wanted to wipe out everybody and whose defeat we remember during Purim. And Shin stands for Seir, or ancient Rome, which destroyed the second temple in Jerusalem. Now, a third idea is to think of the Dreidels versus Gragas. These are two items we spin, Dreidels and Gragas. Gragas, of course, are those famous Purim noisemakers. On Purim, we hold the Graga from the bottom. We can't see our hand controlling the toy, reflecting the nature of the Purim miracle where God's hand was hidden. On Hanukkah, we spin the dreidels from the top. Our hand, symbolizing the hand of God, are visible, hinting to the Hanukkah miracles where God wrought clear miracles during that time. Number 4, another idea is well known about the dreidel. In 175 BCE, King Antiochus took control of Israel and instituted hard decrees, forbidding us to keep the Sabbath, Jewish holidays, and banning the learning of Torah. So Jewish teachers and parents persisted, running clandestine schools, under those trying circumstances. If Greek soldiers raided their schools, children would take out their dreidels and some coins and explain they were just playing games. This way, a generation of Jewish children were able to study Torah and live appropriately. One last thought on this is the numerical side to this. The numerical value of the Dreidels' 4 letters, Nun Gimel, right? And we just explained the 4 letters on the 4 sides of the Dreidel. They actually add up to 358, which is numerical value of the Hebrew word Mashiach, or the Messiah, that we look forward to very speedily, reassuring us that no matter how much danger, Hashem watches over us at all times. So you see, there's so much depth to the holiday, and I'm sure everybody is taking good advantage of it, and family together. And most importantly, know that now that we have, I guess, we're curtailing our outdoor activities or large events because of social distancing and the current time, it is important for us to use the extra time at home when we're sitting at the menorah to look at the candles and say to oneself, what is the lesson? What are these candles saying to me? It's so important to know that fascinating idea that usually when we use light, we for ourselves, right? We go into a room, we turn on the light. We need this room, we put that light on. So usually the light is for our benefit. Yet the holiday of Hanukkah emphasizes a light, surely light, every night more light. Yet the purpose is not the light for ourselves. We're not allowed to actually use that light to sit and read from, or to somehow guide us into another room. The whole purpose of the light is the light itself. So really, in a certain sense, it reminds me of President JFK's words, don't ask what America can do for you, ask what you can do for America. And so too, the Hanukkah message is don't ask these lights what they can do for you, but ask these lights, help someone outside. Use these lights to help somebody around us. That is really a deep side to what these lights are all about, for the benefit of others. Therefore, it's more seen by the doorway or in a window or in the public square. The whole purpose is to publicize the miracle and share that with the world. Now, I must tell you as well that the holiday of Hanukkah celebrates, as you know, our ancestors' victory and the miracle of how one day's supply of oil lasted 8 days. And the Talmud suggests that perhaps there's another miracle to the story, and that is the miraculous find of the small jar of oil. So while we're very excited about the oil that lasted for 8 days and the many military victories involved on the holiday itself, there's one aspect that is somewhat overlooked, just the fact that they found the oil. You have to have the oil. And so there's the military victories, that's one aspect. there's the oil that lasted for 8 days, but there's another aspect of the oil itself, and that itself bears a few moments of our time, because by the basic standards of Jewish law, if no pure oil can be obtained for the menorah in the temple, it may be lit even with ritually impure oil. Therefore, the discovery of this undefiled cruse of oil, when they restored the temple back then, they found that all the oils had been defiled by the Greeks, which really, in a sense, allowed for resumption of the operations on a level far beyond the minimum requirements, because they had actually found undefiled cruse of oil. So, strictly speaking, if they'd found all the oil, they could have actually presumed and relit the menorah with what they had, even if it had been defiled. But here there was another aspect, that they actually, all the oil had been defiled, and yet one cruse of oil was found. Yes, that cruse lasted for 8 days. That's an amazing miracle, and we celebrate it that way. But think for a moment that they did find one undiluted, undefiled cruse of oil. What's the significance? And the commentators explain that this miraculous find was a show of extreme importance to us. It was a unique act of divine intervention to enable us to renew the service of the temple in the most ideal manner with undefiled oil. The public display that this represented did not stop with the discovery of one night's worth of pure oil. As we know, the additional miracle from this undiluted oil caused the minimum amount of oil to burn for 8 days instead of 1. What's the significance? Because this is why we specifically find, with regard of the mitzvah of lighting the candles, the standard practice for all of us is to take the highest track of observance outlined in the Talmud. So though the original establishment of this mitzvah required only one light to be lit per family on all 8 nights, and even the more beautiful way were expected to handle additional lights based only on the size of their family, how do we actually celebrate this holiday? It's called Mahadrin Min HaMahadrin, in the most beautiful way. The light, what we do is we light an additional lamp on each of the 8 nights. What's the significance? In other words, strictly speaking, you can light one candle every night, one candle. Another level, another track is you light as many, for each night based on the members of the family. You add another candle. Here we have a unique way where we actually celebrate it we take the high road, the highest level, the most beautiful, because we're demonstrating how dear Judaism is to us. And we take the track in lighting the menorah that the Talmud regards as a doubly, exceedingly the highest level. We don't just do things in the most minimum way or or on a beautiful way, but the most called Mahadrin Min HaMahadrin, the most beautiful way. Because that's to emphasize that this wasn't just simply overcoming a victory of war, a victory against the enemy at that time, a military war. Clearly, the 8 days, the miracle, that's a fantastic miracle, but also the fact that we found that cruse of oil symbolizes the greatest hope that under most circumstances, as we just mentioned, hope will prevail, and that we do this and we express that in the most beautiful way by lighting the first night 1 candle, the second 2, and we go up an ever-increasing way. Powerful, powerful ideas in our celebration of this holiday of Hanukkah. So, let's in a sense, sum this up. Candles shine, and the commandments, likewise, our mitzvahs, illuminate the world. So when we are looking at the menorah, and it shines with its light, it also provides us a reminder of our mitzvahs, that we do help bring light to the world. Another important thing is that we add progression. A new candle is added every night, helping us to remember that never to suffice, never to be satisfied with yesterday's achievements, and to continuously advance in our service. Living another day is another opportunity to actually not just to live, but to increase in what we're doing. Another aspect of this holiday is the menorah shines outwards. I attended a beautiful menorah lighting outside on East Meadow, Long Island, on Carmen Avenue, right outside the jail, with all the officers there and the sheriff. It was an amazing experience, outside, no less, because teaching us that we must project the light of hope and miracle, the light of Judaism, outwards to our surroundings as well. And of course, this is a holiday lit specifically after sunset, illustrating that we're not afraid of spiritual darkness, but rather we will do everything we can to bring light around us. Another important aspect of the menorah is the igniter. We call it the igniter. In Hebrew it's called the shamash. That's the candle used to light the candles on the menorah, and it's placed high above them, because he who enlightens others transcends. We are never to be afraid of what we have to share with others, because when we share with others, it elevates us at the very same time. Of course, a reminder, according to Jewish mysticism, the number 8, the miracle of Hanukkah, represents the supernatural over the world. The world, our calendars go on a 7-day cycle. 7 represents 7 days of creation, of nature. Here we celebrate a holiday for 8 days, because the victory and the celebration is giving thanks to our ability to transcend above and to disregard all the limits of nature. Now, another important aspect is a candle is merely a material substance, but as soon as it's approached by fire, it bears light. Similarly, our material world also becomes illuminated when we ignite it with the fire of our soul. So as we approach life and attach meaning to our homes in terms of it, of how we study in the home, how we host family and friends in our home, or we use our resources appropriately to help other people. We use our advice to guide people. So many things in this world, they're all materialistic things. Yet if we apply the fire of our soul, is like lighting up the candle. You're taking something material and suddenly it's bringing brightness. That is what Hanukkah is all about. Our ability to bring so much light and so much meaning to the world around us. And that is really something that we should be very serious about. And I want to take this opportunity, it is Hanukkah, to sing the song of Hanukkah that we all sing when we finish lighting the menorah. And I just wanted to, I feel this way. I feel it's a day of joy, of thanksgiving. That's really also part of thanksgiving God for these many miracles. And every one of us have the ability to make this world a better place. So here it goes. Ma'osu Yeshuasi L'chonoe L'shabeach Tikom Beis Tefilosi V'sham Toda Nezabeach Le'ez Tachin Matbeach Mitzar Hamna Beach Ozegmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukah Samizbeach Ozegmor Beshir Mizmor Chanukah Hamizbeach. So, dear friends, now you know. You got it. You have it all there. And of course, please don't forget, dear friends, how much I appreciate your coming and listening to us and joining us each and every Sunday, or at any time you're listening to this program. It is my honor. I'm humbled by your your commitment to joining us on Sunday mornings right here at WHPC. Despite all the pandemic, despite everything, we want to thank those at the station itself, Sean, our station manager, and of course Kim, for making sure that throughout all this difficult time, we were able to come to you each and every week. And we appreciate Sean and you, Kim. Thank you so much for all the effort made so that we can be able to share with everybody on this weekly basis. So one day, I want to tell you the story. One day, during Hanukkah, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berditchever, a very famous rabbi, opened the door of his room and he entered the study hall unannounced. At the same time, several of the Hasidim sat and talked about this. And the tzaddik turned to them, and they were just like talking about this and that, never like sitting around. The tzaddik turned to them and asked about the subject of the conversation, like, what are you talking about? And they were ashamed and to answer, and whispered. He continued to press them, asked them, what was it? Like, what were you talking about? And the Hasidim had to admit that one of them was describing the wealth of a particular count that lived at that time, and how beautiful his palace was, and of all the pleasures and all the amusements that this very wealthy count. This is a story taking place in Russia. So the holy Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Berditchever, responded to them. He says, does he light the Hanukkah candles? And he immediately continued, if he does that, he has no inkling of what is true pleasure. That if he doesn't light those candles, he doesn't know what pleasure is all about. To me, this is a beautiful story that says it all. When we light those candles, we have no idea the pleasure it brings to us, to our family, to those watching, those participating. And so, dear friends, I'm reminding everyone, please, even if you missed out, don't worry. Light those menorah. Keep it going every single night. And as we said, it's the most beautiful way that each night we add more. And if you're just catching up, light tonight all 4, tomorrow all 5. And most importantly, just bring light. Let there be light in this world. And once again, reminding everyone this evening, with God's help, we look forward to presenting the annual Hanukkah Telethon, offering the opportunity for many, many people to join us, to watch us, to support the work that we do. You can find all the details at HanukkahTelethon.com, on the many cable stations, including the Jewish Broadcasting Service, 138, I believe it is. It's now on Comcast as well, and all the programs. But again, let's take the opportunity of Hanukkah to bring light and to attach our fire of soul to everything that we have, and ultimately see the end of this pandemic, all of us healthy and well, and very speedily to see the ultimate redemption for the entire mankind with goodness and kindness. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful, happy, and freilichen Hanukkah.
1, 2, 3, 4.